Okay, this is another WhatsApp message I received, and let me read it. It said, "Good evening, sir. How is work? Uh, this is the issue I'm facing with my Lion. After switching it off, the dashboard light refused to go off until the battery is disconnected. Uh, they have scanned with PP2000, but nothing significant. Uh, they changed BSI unit and the engine ECU, but still the same problem. And the vehicle is Peugeot 406 2006 with EW10J4 2.0 liter petrol engine. The wire has done all, and he has done all he could do, and now he's suggesting I should take the vehicle to Canada. Please, can you give some suggestions to what I will tell him to do, please? Poof. Okay. Now, you say yes, that the when you say dashboard, I don't know what you mean by dashboard. Um, there are electronics on dashboards, not just one. We have instrument panel, we have a multifunction display, we have AC control panel, and we have radio. So all these things are attached on the gearbox. At least, is there any other thing? There could be. I'm talking about the electronics that are attached on that. So it didn't specify which of them that the lights are not going off even when you switch off the ignition. Yes, BSI could cause it, but I wouldn't go to BSI unit first if I were the one diagnosing the vehicle. One of the things that can cause that, okay, let's start with what's it called? Um, Instrument panel. Let's assume the problem is the instrument panel. The instrument panel is what locally Nigerians call speed clock or speedometer clock, something like that. I don't know what name you call it, but that's the name. Instrument panel, instrument cluster, whatever. So that's let's assume that's the one that is not going off when you switch off the ignition switch. The ignition switch itself can be the cause. So if unless which supposed to be one of the things the electrician, the one you called the wire, supposed to have ruled out, supposed to have tested to confirm that it's okay from that end. Yes, it can cause it. It's not the switch are in two parts. There's something they call fiber. It's just the electrical part of the ignition switch is attached behind the switch. That's on the switch, but at the other end, the end that you will see when you are inside the vehicle. You have to open, detach a lot of things to access that part. So they call it fiber. When it get burned, sometimes it can cause it. So the easiest way to do that is to swap in another fiber to know if that will. You don't even need to swap in this thing because, well, normally for me, I use my digital multimeter to test to know if it's okay. Digital multimeter will tell you exactly what is going, if your ignition switch is good or not. That's the fiber. So you don't need to even disconnect. It all depends on who is doing the diagnosis for you. Now, the second question, okay, in fact, it's more like I'm doing guesswork now because we are not clear with what you say. Now, another thing that can cause instrument panel lights not to go off when you switch off ignition is the data wire on Peugeot 406 now. Remember, your car, it says Peugeot 406 2006 model with EW10J4. So another one that can cause it is data wire. There are about three or four sockets under the driver's carpet. I'll call it footwell. You will see it until you remove that rug under where fan, that almost directly under the pedals. You have to pull out that rug for you to access those things. Most times when water enters there and settle, it will go in and rust those sockets. Those call it male and female sockets or connectors. Okay, let's just use the word wiring connectors or wiring plugs, male and female. So when it's possible that water has entered there and rusted them, or not, maybe not. But the only way to find out is to pull it out. So what I'm saying is most times when water goes there, it's going to breach those wires, and then the light will stay on. It won't go off even when you switch it off. You find out that even some of the gauges may not work. These gauges on the instrument panel may not work, or even when they work, they'll be working erratically, or even when you switch off the ignition, they will still stay on. The gauges, they won't drop or go off. So the only way to find out is to pull out that rod. You have to remove certain things, of course, before you can access it. Pull it out and check. If it's rusted, if water is there, you will know. If it has affected those sockets, you will know. So your mechanic or your electrician will know how to deal with it. It depends. I hope you are not using quack, because that's the thing. Don't go and use a quack that will go and create more problems. What else that can cause it? Then another thing that can cause that issue, that will keep the instrument panel light on, is what's it called? The amp, the JBL amp in the boot. That's where it's mounted. Now, not all of them come with that system, that's the amp amplifier. However, sometimes even when the ones that don't have it, they will still leave the plug there in case the person or whoever that owns the car wants to attach it. So if water now finds its way to that place and settle on that plug, the plug has about 7 wires or thereabout. It's going to cause that same issue as well, including your radio. They will stay on even when you switch off ignition. So the plug is at the, what's it called, the right side of the boot. When you open the Peugeot 406 boot, you see it at the right side. You have to pull out some. The electrician will know what I mean. You know the location of that amp. Even if yours doesn't have it, just go there first and check whether it has that wire, the plug, whether it's there. And if it's wet, you remove it. You don't need to pull it out completely. You just find a way to drain that water. Then you pull out pull up the connector from the water, leave it to dry, then find a way to hang it somewhere. Normally, in my case, I normally just find somewhere to hang it so that even if water finds its way down there again, it won't be able to enter on those on that plug, the amp plug. So then there could be other things that could cause it. I don't, it depends. May not remember everything now, but it all depends on the state of the wires, or there are some things that it has to be, as you are working on the car, you have to be dealing with it based on what you see. Your own case may be different. Maybe there's a long wiring connection somewhere causing it, so I wouldn't know. So my advice is, you don't need to take it to Kamna to fix. Come on, if you're in Abuja, unless you're not in Abuja. If you're in Abuja, this is a Peugeot town. So there's a lot of good electricians that can do that. These days, I hardly have chance for that kind of work. Because I only work on weekends. So even that weekend, I pick and choose the one that will not give me more stress. Don't get me wrong. Doesn't mean it's not yours. It's not also work. But the problem is when the little time I have to work on cars, I don't want after spending that time to work on it, the person will now pay me the value that I put in that vehicle. Start pricing me chicken amount of money. So because of that, I decided not to waste my time anymore. I have to pick and choose. Even if I will not charge that much, it will be something that I'll do that won't take me much time. So, however, I have few people that that are Peugeot electricians here in Abuja. So what I'll do is I'm going to post a number. If you're in Abuja and you want to do some electrical diagnosis or repairs, so I'm going to post a number of one of them on the video description and also on the comment section. I'll pin it on the comment so that you can always go here and check and then contact the person, know when you can go to him and fix your car issues. I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't think it's a serious issue to even consider Canada. You can, of course, Canada guys will fix it. I also know 1 or 2 person in Canada that can do that. But at least your issue is not that bad yet. So, unless if you try this guy, if it doesn't work, then you may consider Kaduna. So I'm going to post that number, like I said, but at least these are the likely places. I mentioned likely things that will cause it. If it's the radio that is staying on permanently or the AC panel, in fact, whatever it is, just go to that guy. Let him sort it out for you. All right.